My name is Elizabeth Tarigan. I am from the Jakarta Special Capital City Government. Specifically, I came from the Department of Water Resources for Jakarta.
My name is Casper Spaan. I'm a consultant at Waternet and I work in the field of climate adaptation and urban development.
Yeah, my name is Samira Ibrahim. I'm a graduate student at the University of Delft, the Technical University of Delft in water management. And at the VU University, I'm a graduate student at the Department of Theology and Religion. And I'm a participant today at the conference.
I am Iyad Abu Mughli, the director of the Faith for Earth program of the United Nations Environment Program.
Yes, I'm Kevin Winter from the University of Cape Town and I work in a Future Waters Research Institute. Well, I think first of all it's really unusual to be in a conference with such a diversity of scientists, of theologians, of philosophers. That's very unusual space for me to be working in as a scientist. So that's the first refreshing element of it, and it's brought some really useful discussions.
It's crucial to bring together all the different stakeholders and groups we meet.
It's also valuable in the sense that we're trying to do and wrap our heads around how we bring three cities together. And that's another very unusual activity. They're three very different cities, and to make sense of that, it has been, I think, and still is, going to be part of the challenge this afternoon. But it's something that we should be looking at because there are synergies. While there are differences, there are also synergies, and we're trying to find each other, and I think that's valuable discussion as well.
The collaboration, the energy, the spirit of moving together in terms of water management, that is a very good energy to bring back home.
Well, we know that the Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals, it's a work plan, it's a chart to reach 2030 with some hope. But those Sustainable Development Goals cannot be achieved and implemented by governments working alone, neither by the private sector working alone. So we need to bring everybody who has a stake in it. So bringing governments with policymakers, with religious groups, NGOs, young people and so on to work together to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals.
Well, from my perspective, religion is a very important aspect of life, and religious communities do have a very broad audience, and they do have a certain influence in society, a very huge influence.
Well, what we've learned in the symposium in all the presentations is that the religious groups show an enormous, powerful community with a common dialogue about what's challenging us, what's driving us. And that's an easy community to engage in the dialogue on water.
Okay, so water transcends everything because that's the basic needs of humanity and that's the basic need of lives. So it doesn't stop for only the people, the political or the natural scientists or the government or everything else. So it is something that everybody should be talking about because it's the basis of life.
The really interesting question around what religious leaders can do for us in building a community of practice. We've ignored clearly the spiritual and faith-based understanding of water and how we interact with it. We've had a number of discussions around the sacredness of water, and it's almost coming back to those roots, which are ancient roots of that sacredness of water. That's a very helpful discussion because within all of that is not only evoking a more of a spiritual understanding, but also the values that are attached to that.